Hello guys. So today we are going to discuss about the composition of the blood and the hematopoiesis. So let's start with the blood. So blood is one of the most important components of the life. Almost any animal that possesses a circulatory system has blood. From an evolutionary perspective, blood was speculated to have risen a type of cell that was responsible for the phagocytosis and the nutrition. Billions of years later, blood and the circulatory system have drastically helped the evolution of more complex life forms. So, what are the types of the blood cells? We have seen the blood consists of the cell known as warm element of the blood. These cells have their own function and roles to play in the body. The blood cells which circulate all around the body are known as the red blood cells, which are also known as erythrocytes. RBCs are the biconcave cells without nucleus in the human, also known as the erythrocytes. RBCs can contain the iron-rich protein called as the hemoglobin, which gives blood its red color. RBCs are most copious blood cells produced in the bone marrow. Their main function is to transport oxygen from and to various tissues and organs. The next one is the white blood cells, which are also known as leukocytes. Leukocytes are the colorless blood cells. They are colorless because it is devoid of the hemoglobin. They are further classified as the granulocytes and the organocytes. WBCs mainly contribute to the immunity and the defense mechanism. So types of the white blood cells. So there are five different types of the white blood cells and are classified mainly based on the presence and the absence of the granules. First one is the granulocyte and the second one is agranulocyte. So granulocytes, they are the leukocyte with the presence of the granules in their cytoplasm. The granulated cells include eosinophil, basophil and the neutrophil. The eosinophils, they are the cells of the leukocyte which are present in the immune system. These cells are responsible for the combating infections in the parasites of the vertebrates and for controlling mechanisms associated with the allergy and asthma. Eosinophils cells are the small granulocytes which are produced in the bone marrow and make 2 to 3% of the whole WBC. These cells are present in the high concentration in the digestive system. The next one is the basophils. They are the least common of the granulocytes, ranging from the 0.5 to 1% of the WBC. They contain large cytoplasmic granules which plays a vital role in mounting a non-specific immune response to the pathogen and allergic reaction by releasing histamine and dilating the blood vessels. These white blood cells have the ability to be sustained when exposed to the basic dyes, hence referred to as basophils. These cells are best known for their role in the asthma and they result in the inflammation and the bronchoconstriction in the airway. They secrete serotonin, histamine, and the heparin. The last one is the neutrophils. They are normally found in the bloodstream. They are predominant cells which are present in the pus. Around 60 to 65% of the WBCs are neutrophils with the diameter of 10 to 12% of the micrometer. The nucleus is 2 to 5 lobed and the cytoplasm are very high granular. Neutrophil helps in the destruction of the bacteria and the lysosomes and it acts as a strong antioxidant. The next one is a agranulocyte. So they are the leukocyte with the absence of the granules in their cytoplasm. Agranulocytes are further classified into the monocytes and the lymphocytes. Monocytes, so these cells actually have a large bionucleus with the diameter of 12 to 20 micrometer. The nucleus is generally half moon shape or the kidney shape and it is occupies about 6 to 8% of the WBC. They are the garbage trucks of the immune system. The most important function of the monocytes are to migrate into the tissue and clean up the dead cells, protect against the bloodborne pathogens, and move very quickly to the sites of the infections in the tissue. These white blood cells have a single bean-shaped nucleus, hence referred to as a monocytes. Lymphocytes, they play a vital role in producing the antibodies. Their size ranges from 8 to 12 micrometers They are commonly known as a natural killer cells. They plays an important role in the body defense, and these white blood cells are the colorless cells formed in the lymphoid tissue, hence referred as the lymphocytes. Then blood also contains the platelets, which is also known as the thrombocytes. Thrombocytes are the specialized blood cells produced from the bone marrow. Platelets come into the play when there is a bleeding or the hemorrhage. They help in clotting and the coagulation of the blood. Platelets help in the coagulation during a cut or the wound. So the components of the blood, there are many cellular structure in the composition of the blood. When the sample of the blood is spun in a centrifuge machine, they separate into the following constituent: plasma, buffy coat, and the erythrocyte. Thus, the blood contains the WBC, RBC, platelets, and plasma. So plasma is the liquid state of the blood can contribute to the plasma as it makes up to 55% of the blood. It is a pale yellow in the color and when separated. And blood plasma consists of the salt, nutrients, water and the enzymes. Blood plasma also contains the important protein and other component necessary for the overall health. Hence the blood plasma transfusion are given to the patient with the liver failure and the life-threatening injuries. So this were the composition of the blood. So let us discuss about what is hematopoiesis. Hematopoiesis is blood cell production. Your body continuously makes new blood cells to replace the old blood cells so you have a steady blood supply. Hematopoiesis starts before birth and continues as cycle throughout the life. It is easier to remember that the hematopoiesis is when you consider its root. Hematopoiesis is derived from the two Greek words hema, which is the blood, and poiesis to make something. So what blood cells get made during the hematopoiesis? Your blood cells are the building block of your blood. Hematopoiesis includes the production of all the blood cells during blood cells type, including the erythrocyte, which are red blood cells, leukocyte, which are white blood cells, and even the platelets, which are thrombocytes. So where does the hematopoiesis occurs? So most common site of the blood cell production is the spongy tissue inside your bone, which is called as a bone marrow. Hematopoiesis that occurs in the bone marrow is called as a medullary hematopoiesis. Blood cells get made in your bone marrow and released into your bloodstream. Hematopoiesis takes place in the different location before the birth than it does after you are born. So these were some of the information that we discussed and today, which was about the hematopoiesis and the composition of the blood. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much.